Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started in a minute. We're going to give you just a little more time. We get a couple more people. Everybody seems to be starting to log in. So we're going to start in just about a minute. I don't want to take up more of your Saturday morning than we have to. And thank you for being here on a Saturday morning. If you can, please add your name and troop number or service unit number to the chat log so we know who's here. Okay, I do want to get us started on time, so I am going to go ahead and get started. Anybody that logs in late, we'll just get them caught up as we go. Um, so welcome, everybody. I am glad you were able to make it this morning. And today we're going to talk about the annual finance report. As you all know, we've made some changes this year, so many of you may have questions. I am hoping that you will find our new finance report system a little smoother and easier for you to do and make it much easier. So we're going to get started, and we're going to start by okay, there we go. Introducing ourselves. For those who don't know me, my name's Janae Rogers. I am the coordinator of volunteer relations, and I basically handle anything to do with finance reports, finance issues, and things like that. And my co-host.
I'm Pamela Carrick. I'm the coordinator audit and accounting. I work primarily with Troop Banking and assist with any finance report questions that Janae would have.
And on. This is our agenda. It looks like a lot, but I guarantee you it does go very quickly. We want to cover every individual topic with questions you may have. So please, if you come up with a question while we're going over a slide, feel free to put the question. I have Jane Fisher, who is one of our community support specialists helping us out today, and she's going to be monitoring the chat log so that we can get your questions answered as quickly as possible. Don't be afraid to ask a question because you're probably not the only person in the room who has that question. So let's get started. So what is exactly our definition of a troop finance report. In our policy, it states that all troops, service units, and day camps are required to submit an annual finance report. It is always due the second Wednesday in June, which is June 10th this year, for troops and service units. Day camp reports are due later. They're due in September after day camps are done. The annual finance report ensures that all troop funds are used to support the Girl Scout program. That's what we do. We want that money to go back into your girls' learning experience, having a nice time, enjoying Girl Scouts. The report can be submitted by the troop primary volunteers, which would be the admin, the leader, or the troop treasurer. Second Wednesday of June. We're going to have this date in your face a lot today because it's a very important date. That is our deadline. There are a lot of advantages to meeting that deadline. It is open now. You can go ahead and file your finance report anytime after April 1st. June 10th, of course, is the deadline. And the reason we emphasize it because many of you do early renewals. You want to get those incentives. And this year, one of the incentives that we have changed is what you get for your cookie sale. In the past, we have given everybody who completed and met all the qualifications for early renewal, including on-time finance reports, given them 3 cents a package towards their cookies. This year, it has been up to 5 cents a package. Now, 5 cents doesn't seem like a lot of money, but if your troop sells 1,000 packages of cookies, that would mean it would average 100. If you have a group of 10, 100 packages per girl. That's not a hard goal to hit with cookies. That would be an extra $50 your troop is going to earn to help you move forward with your Girl Scout program. So we do try to help you get that June 10th deadline. You want to talk about the second signers, Pam?
Sure. The second signer is very important to a troop bank account. Are you the second signer on the bank account? Even if you think you are only the second signer, we want you to know that it is very important. It's critical that you play your role in ensuring that the troop bank account is operating in accordance with GSNEO financial policies. All bank account signers should have full access to their bank account online so they can review activity and statements regularly. This way, it ensures that the funds are being used to support the Girl Scout program. And also, it helps to identify any fraudulent charges quickly and also any bank charges or fees that could possibly be reversed by our relationship with the banks. So the second signer is going to have to be either listed as the troop leader or admin, treasurer, product program volunteer. And if you do not have a lot of adult volunteers on your troop roster, it could actually be someone in your service unit holding a service unit position as well.
Okay, we have a question from Amy. Your troop has an event booked for June 13th, and you'll be invoiced for part of it on the 13th. If that is the 13th of May, you decide when you are sending in that report. If you are doing it the first part of June, everything stops with your May 31st bank statement. Any charges after that, they will go on next year's finance report. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move along. So, if you have a deposit and it shows on your bank statement in May, even though the event is in June, you're going to put that on this year's finance report. You can put notes. There's places to put notes on the finance report. You can go in there, tell us what it's for if you would like. Anything you want to put in there that would help us understand what you've put in the finance report is fine. But yes, wherever you decide to go, like if you do your bank report in May, you're probably going to end with your April bank statement. So anything after April 30th would be on next year's finance report. Does that help you, Amy?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Okay, this is one that comes up every year, lots and lots of questions about cookies, fall product, and unsold cookies. What you have to remember when you do your finance report, you need one thing to do that finance report, your bank statements. Everything you're going to put in the finance report should be on your bank statements. That's what we look at. That's what we compare is your bank statement, if we need to your finance report. So let's take a look. To ensure everything is right, you're going to look at your cookies. You are going to go into that bank statement. You're going to look at your deposits, mainly March, April, and sometimes into May if you had some unsold cookies you were still getting rid of. You're going to add those deposits that you did into that bank account for cookies, and that's going to go into your income under cookies or fall product. It's done the same way. And then for your expenses, you are only going to put what council debited from your bank account to pay for your cookies. That is all you need to put in your finance report as far as income and expenses for your product sales. Now, you've got unsold cookies. How do you account for those? Well, here's is the thing. If you had unsold cookies, unpaid cookies, and donated cookies, we have included a drop down under your cookie income to account for these things. You're going to put in there how many packages you have at that point in time that are unsold. Okay, all of them. If you donated them, if your troop ate them, unsold cookies, add those all in. So keep track of that. So let's say the troop has 150 remaining packages of cookies to sell. And let's say you have some caregivers at the time you do your report that still owe a total of $300. And you donated 50 packages to Meals on Wheels. We have a place on the drop downs under cookies that you can put all that information in for us. Remember, if you are donating those cookies, that's true profit. So you have to account for it. You need to have a letter that dated, signed by you and the organization you gave the cookies to, and how many packages you donated. Hang on to that, put it with the rest of your receipts, and that is a very acceptable thing to do with unsold cookies. You can let us know if you plan on selling them. Any cookies you sell after you do your finance report this year, keep track of it because you're going to add that to your cookies for next year. If you have any questions on that, you can talk to Pam or I at any time about it. We'll be more than happy to help you figure that out. Any questions? I know the cookies can be a complicated thing at times. Pam, this one looks like yours. Yes.
Okay, our funds deposit policy. It is stated very clearly on page 36. All Girl Scout funds must be deposited into the unit bank account within 72 hours. Troops are allowed to have $100 or less on hand to be used as petty cash. All itemized receipts for purchases, bank receipts, and deposits, and monthly bank statements must be kept on file in accordance with GSNEO's record retention policy. If you have any questions about that, you can contact me directly or you can ask Janae as well. This includes money collected for dues, funds collected from families for Girl Scout activities, such as a field trip or a camp out, and also any funds collected for product programs. As Janae had mentioned earlier, in the earlier slide, if you have unsold cookies when you complete your finance report and you plan on selling those later throughout the summer, keep track of how much that was sold, how many packages of cookies were sold, and make note on your bank statement when those funds are deposited that that was actually for cookies. It is very important that you keep the cookie funds deposit separate from any other funds collected.
I see we have a couple questions. Aaron asked, would the donated cookies be those that you didn't pay for? Yes, that is what we consider that people do with unsold cookies. There's not you they're considered true profit that you're donating. It's a donation. You actually received enough funds to buy cookies to donate. Okay, then no, if you purchased those cookies and you chose to donate them, you can put that in the notes in your finance report that that's what you did. We purchased $50 worth of our cookies and we donated them to this organization, but still make sure you get a letter of donation signed by you and the donation party, because that is still something you've done with troop funds.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
and Leslie asked if we have a handful of boxes, like a case, and we plan to give them to speakers. You just put that you have those, that's your leftover cookies, and you can put a note in there that you're using them, you're gifting them, uh, you're gifting them to people or as a donation for a speaker, something of that nature. Um, in that case, no, you would not need a donation letter. They're considered troop owned cookies at that point, and if you have less than a dozen packages, you can just mark for troop use and that'll be fine. Am I right, Pam? If they
Yes.
just that small of an amount, if you mark them, we had 12 packages left, we are going to use those for the troop. And then they're yours to do what you want with. Okay. Best practices. Avoid using cash whenever possible. And if you make a withdrawal, make sure that you mark why you've withdrawn that money and make sure you have the receipts for what you spent it on. But try to avoid making any cash withdrawals and using cash to pay for things. Paper trails are great. Caregivers like paper trails because that is the number one issue that comes up when people call into council. The first thing they're going to say is, we don't know what the troop leaders are doing with our daughter's funds. They made all this money with cookies. And a lot of times it's because they just don't understand how things work, how much they're actually making as a troop, and how much things cost as a troop to purchase. So make sure you have your receipts. We try to encourage them to contact you to check on these things first, but they don't always do that. Review your bank statement at least monthly. That's the other reason we have two signers. Maybe you both can't do that. Pick chores. Let's say signer number one is going to do this. Signer number two is going to be doing this. But do try to check your accounts at least once a month to ensure your charges are accurate. Your account should never be charged fees other than paper statement fees if you choose not to receive electronic statements. If you're being charged any other fees, please contact customer care. They'll direct you to the right person, probably Pam, who can take care of those fees for you and work with you. If you are in a preferred bank, it does make that much easier for us to do. Keep your
Danae, I
receipts.
also want to add that I've been seeing a lot of Zelle fees charged. That is an optional fee,
Yes.
just like a paper statement fee is, and that cannot be reversed. The fees that can be reversed
Yes, because
are,
that's a choice.
yeah, things that can be reversed is a monthly service charge, which could range from $5 to $25 at our preferred banks. Also, cash deposit fees. Our preferred banks have a $5,000 limit of cash deposits, and this is really only affecting our accounts during the cookie season. So I pull reports automatically once a month. I just pulled the report last week for our preferred banks, submitted that report to the bank, and they're in the process of having them reversed as we speak. So you don't even need to contact me about that fee unless you don't see that reversal. Most of them do it relatively quickly. Huntington does take a little bit longer because they have to go into each individual account and do that. And we have close to 900 accounts at Huntington. So it does take a little more time. But if you don't see that reversal within 30 days, just contact me about that. And these are only at our preferred banks. I'm really not able to assist if you're at a non-preferred bank.
Mhm. Keep those receipts and finance records in a secure location for 7 years. That's not our rule. That is the IRS regulations. If they ever wanted to know anything, they can go back 7 years. So even after your troop has concluded, graduated, you've disbanded, put all those receipts for the last 7 years or however long you were in Girl Scouts, put them in a safe place just to have them there in case you need them. Uh, it's important if you're selected for a finance review. That's the first thing that Pam is going to be asking you for is your receipts and anything like that that would verify your purchases. Where would we find the list of our preferred banks? Amy, they're on our website, but thank you, Jane. We have Huntington Key, Fifth Third, and Citizens. Okay, Pam.
Okay, transparency for the finance report. GSNEO is now using JotForm in place of the volunteer toolkit. Submitter will receive an email copy of the report. You need to save this copy for transparency. You'll want to share the report with all troop members and caregivers. This allows them to see how the money was spent throughout the year and let them ask questions and verify any of the questions that they have. Any troop member or caregiver can contact customer care as well for a copy of the finance report, and this is their customer care email.
Oh, yes. And one other thing, if you do need, because JotForm is not going to automatically put your starting balance in there. If you have a copy of your report from last year, you should have your ending balance. That will be your starting balance. You can call customer care again, and they would be more than happy to give you your balance from the end of last year so that you can put it in your report. However, if you've got your bank statements, let's say you ended on May 31st last year, your June bank statement's beginning balance should be your beginning balance if your finance report matched your bank statements. We talk a lot about transparency. As I said earlier, a lot of the complaints or questions that we get from families have to do with how the girls' money is being spent. And in this day and age, it's very understandable. Everything costs a lot more than it used to, and they want to make sure that their girls are getting a value for what they're paying for. So we understand that. So we try to help you as volunteers with the transparency at all levels of Girl Scouts. Finance reports are the best way to show them where their troops' money's been going. Or if you are a director or treasurer for a service unit, you need to show those to the volunteers in the service unit. That includes all your troop leaders because they're giving you money for events and so forth, and they want to know where that money's going to because that's their hard-earned cash. It encourages trust and confidence between volunteers and with the girls and the caregivers. If a troop is being transparent, you have happy caregivers. Usually, you have very happy girls because they're doing fun things, they're earning their rewards, and they're having a great time. So, it's a very important thing to be honest and let these people know where their funds are going. So just remember, any troop member or caregiver can contact customer care for a copy of this report. Again, customer care at gsneo.org. Those ladies are very, very helpful. I've called them and asked them questions. That's how helpful they are. Remember, Girl Scouts is a girl-led program. Make sure you include your girls in all conversations about their troop finances. Yes, daisies can give you answers to specific questions. They know what they want to do. So ask them. Let them be a part. And this is how they learn financial responsibility as well. Want this one? Again, we're giving you the date, June 10th. That is the deadline. Um, it is a mandatory thing to do every year. We require it. We require it for our own interaction with the IRS, being a nonprofit organization. Troops that fail to submit their annual finance report, you will be subject to a finance review. That is at our discretion. If you do not file that report after being asked 3 times, we may be doing a finance review on your account. You will be denied approval for any money earning or trip applications. You can't earn funds for the troop if we can't see where you're spending your funds. You will not be eligible for the spring renewal incentive of 5 cents per box of cookies. And at some point, we will let your caregivers know that the troop is out of financial compliance. It's not as overwhelming as it looks. Please take a breath. We'll get you through this. So, new this year, troops using preferred banks no longer need to upload a bank statement. That has always been a sticking point with the finance reports on the volunteer toolkit. Everybody do their report. They would get to the part where they uploaded that statement and nothing worked. We are very hopeful that that will be smooth sailing. If you are in those banks, you mark, you pick the bank you're at, and it'll just take you to the next question. You won't have to upload those statements. However, if you are in a non-preferred bank, you will be required to upload 6 months, the last 6 months of statements to the finance report. Pam, would you like to explain the reasoning for that? Because you're more involved in that part of it than I am.
In order for us to verify that the finance report is accurate, we need to review bank statements with preferred banks. We're able to access bank statements for at least 2 years ourselves, and then we can request additional bank statements from the bank if needed beyond that 2-year period. Troops that have bank accounts at non-preferred banks, we're unable to access those bank statements. So we have no way to verify if the entries on the finance report are accurate. So we're requesting 6 months of bank statements just so we can do a quick once over and make sure everything seems to align with the submitted finance report.
Kelsey, that's a very good question. If you have not had your account for a whole 6 months, then just upload what you have. We know when your account was open, so we'll know what to expect from you. So when you're doing this new finance report, as far as the unsold cookies go, we talked about this earlier. What you are going to need to know to do the report is the number of unsold packages you have when you do the finance report. How many of the unsold packages were donated and where you donated them to. You don't have to upload the letter of donation. That you keep in your own files just in case we need it for verification. But at least know where they were donated, how many were donated, and how many total were unsold. All right. I don't know how many of you are on here new. Obviously, I think Kelsey is, and probably a few others. You've never done one before, so you have nothing to compare this with. You're starting out fresh with what we hope is going to be a very, very easy finance report to do. You are going to begin from when your troops started. When you opened that bank account, that is where your finance report is going to start. And it's going to go up to either the April or May bank statement whenever you decide to do that report. It does not matter what month you use because the next year will pick up where you left off. It doesn't have to be a 12 months. Sometimes they're 11 months. Sometimes they're 13 months. Just depends what month you decide to do your finance report. If your troop started in November of 2025, you will include all income and expenses between November 2025 and your most recent bank statement. To find the finance report, and I am going to put these links in the chat. To find the finance report, that's the link for it there. It is on our website under Troop Banking and Finance. If you go into our website to look for it, that's where it is found. Always end your finance report at the end of a month. For example, if you're doing it in June, have your May 31st bank statement. If you're doing it in May, have your April 30th bank statement. Usually, most banks are preferred banks. They run their statements from the beginning to the end of individual months. So that will track very nicely. We also have uh, an Excel sheet on our website called the Treasurer Tracking Template. And each month on that, and it has the months, you fill it out, it automatically adds things up. It has the categories that are on the finance report. You put your stuff in there, it adds it up. Hopefully, at the end of the year, you can just go in there and transfer. If you've been diligent about filling it out, you should be able to go in there, take all those totals, and put them right on the jot form. However, I will warn you, it is an extremely large Excel sheet. It does not work well on iPads, cell phones, things like that. It is best used on your computers, laptop or stationary computer, because it is such a large file. But I do know that people have used it and found it very, very helpful. And we're going to talk about more about that tracking template a little bit later. So again, you're going to start with your first bank statement. Use the treasurer tracking if you're using that to record your income and expenses. Go to your finance group banking page on our website. Go to the annual finance report and open, and there it is. Fill in the categories for the current year, preview, and add a bank statement if applicable. I am going to give you one warning. The jot form will not save. So make sure you can't close it and go back like you could with the volunteer toolkit, unfortunately. So make sure you have all your stuff ready to go. You can print it out. You can go in, open the jot form, you can print it, and then maybe write everything down on a paper copy so that all you have to do is go in and just put the totals in or use the tracking sheet. But I just wanted to let you know that. I already had one person say, but it didn't save it. No, jot forms don't do that. So remember that when you go to do it, have your stuff ready, put it on paper if you need to. That way, all you have to do is add the numbers in there and you'll be good. Okay, this was for new troops. I'm gonna let Pam take. Did that not go? No, it didn't. Ah, there we go. Returning troops.
Returning troops is similar process to the new troop one. You're going to pick up where you left off the year before. If you're unsure of what your ending balance was, as Janae stated, you can contact customer care and they can give you that number. If you left off at the end of a month, you can just look at your bank statement and the following month starting balance would be where you would start. If you submitted your report using the May 2025 bank statement last year, you would begin 2026 report with the June 2026 bank statement. To find your finance report, go to gsneo.org/en/membership members/4-volunteers/blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not going to read the entire link. Always end your finance report at the end of a month, such as May 31st. As Janae said, all of our preferred banks do end at the end of a month. Some non-preferred months go from the 15th to the 14th. middle of the month. I'm not sure why they do that, but that is what you would use, whatever shows up on your bank statement. As Janae said, start by accessing the jot form. Use the Treasury Tracker template. It adds everything up for you, very convenient. The Treasury Tracker was actually created by volunteers years ago, and it has just been updated and used for a long time. It's a wonderful thing. I use it myself when I'm going through verifying finance reports as well. Go to the Finance and Troop Group Banking tab. Select the annual finance report and then open that. Fill in all the required tabs. You can preview it and then add a statement if it's applicable. Hopefully, we're not going to have very many people have difficulty uploading bank statements. That's always a tricky thing. And then submit. Make sure you save a copy for yourself when you get that verification email and share it with parents and caregivers.
Thank you, Erin. Yes, for new troop, use the Excel form that's on the GSNEO site. It is wonderful. Our troop saves it on Google. Yes, you save it. Make sure both signers can access it wherever you've saved it, and then you can both keep working on it monthly. Thank you for that testimonial, Erin.
It really has been a lifesaver. It's so easy to just input that information immediately, and then it subtotals like by the categories. So you can just input that money that's in that category right into the jot form, and it saves you trying to add it up manually.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver. I know a lot of people love it. Okay. And here is where to find our treasurer tracking sheet. Erin was kind enough to put that in there because when you do get to it, you click on treasurer tracking template and it is going to download the Excel sheet immediately to your computer. That's what it does. And it is a big file. It allows you to track those expenses, as Erin said, and you can use that for your final finance report. Again, due on June 10th. I told you we were going to put that date out there a lot. In order, whoops, I didn't want to go there yet. In order to find it, you are going to go under our website, under members. If you hover, you'll get a drop down, and it is going to take you to all of our resources for volunteers. You're going to find the one that says Troop Group Financial Reporting. Open that, scroll down, and you are going to see Treasurer Tracking Template. That is it. The expense report template is something that can be used if you are doing hosting programs or events for your troop or for the server, and you want to keep an expense report specifically for that. But you want the treasurer tracking template, that is going to take you right to the one you want. And now here is a look. Now, some of these categories may not match the finance report because I have not changed the one on here, but it's close. And getting it on here is difficult as well because it is so large. You will start with whatever your balance is this month or at the beginning of your financial year, depending on when you do your finance report. You're going to start with that balance. And as you have deposits or payment or expenses, you're going to put them in there. It'll automatically have a running total under that balance. So you know exactly what should be in your bank account. And then you're going to also put that amount under the correct income or expense column here. And again, I could not get the bottom, but those columns will also add. And there should be a column total at the very end. And that is what you're going to match up with the jot form finance report. As Pam said, it was developed by our leaders. They love the ones that are using it, love it, as Erin said. Okay, sometimes we get confusion here. This is the bank statement. If you have to upload a bank statement, This is what you're going to upload. However, this is what you want to be looking at when you're doing your finance report. The reason for that is it lists your deposits with the dates all together. So you can go month by month and look for what those deposits were. And it usually tells you where, what, and why. Debits, any debits or deposits from Girl Scouts will say Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio, so that you know that we did that debit or put that money back in your account. And yes, if you do a lot of online product sales, I know a lot of people do fall product mainly online, which means you don't have to collect funds. So you may want to know, how do we get our profit? Product sales has a very smooth way of doing that. They collect the money, they subtract the DOC or online sales from what you owe them. And if they owe you money, they will deposit it in your account at the end of the sale. So it's always put in there for you.
Janae, can I point out on the bottom
May.
of this, this is what the cash deposit fee looks like when it is taken out of your account. This is Huntington. So an April statement from Huntington, it would probably take them from the time you get this statement, it would probably at least 30 days for them to reimburse that. But then it would show as a credit saying something. If it doesn't say the exact cash deposit fee, it may say reimbursement or something like that. But just look at the dollar amount and then follow your statements moving forward to make sure that amount is credited back to your account.
Okay. Should we go ahead and show them where to find it live? And I don't know if we have to actually do a finance report because it's not that complicated to do. Would anybody like me to go through the process of finding it and showing you the finance report? Yeah, okay, Aaron, we will do that. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen. We're going to hope for the best that I don't mess it up. And I am going to slide this over. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Where's my share? There it is. And okay. Can you see my my homepage, Pam?
All we see is a black screen right now.
Okay.
Okay, now we see your home screen.
Okay. So if you are looking to find that finance report, you are going to first of all go to our website. And up at the top, we have members. So you're going to hover on that and then come down, volunteer resources. And it gives you a list of everything we have available for you to help you with your troop. And you're going to go to finances and troop group banking. Now down here, you will see you can go a direct link to the annual finance report. So we're going to open that. And we're going to see there's two things listed: troop annual finance service unit. If you get the wrong one, you're going to know right away the service unit report does not have any cookie or fall product places on it, the finance report. So make sure you get the troop, and it opens just like that. It's a very simple form. We have links to anything you may need on here. If you're in the wrong finance report, it gives you the other two that we have in our system, if that's what you're looking for. If you need assistance, our customer care address and phone number is on here. They're more than happy to help. You just give them a call. They'll direct you probably to myself or Pam to answer your questions. Or if it's after our business hours, they will make sure that one of us gets it in the morning. other finance resources. This leads you right to the finance reporting page if you need information from there. Uh, there's a link leading you right to this training, which, as you know, we recorded. It will be in GS Learn under Money Matters, as well as we put the link in Rallyhood, and it will be on our YouTube through Rallyhood. And then lastly, Troop Banking and Finances. That's if you need to go, you want to make changes to your account or anything like that, that'll take you there as well. So basically, what you want to do is just start at the beginning. Again, a reminder, it does not save your progress, so have everything ready. So you can take a look at it, you can print it out, so you have a paper copy to work with to begin with, and go from there. So let me show you a couple little things. You are going to tell us what year you're doing, 2026. Yes, we do have people who are late. It's the nature of the game. The person who is filling this out, their name and email goes in here. You put your troop number and your service unit number. You put the first date of the report. So let's say you're starting with your June bank statement. You would put in there June 1st, 2025. And if you're ending, let's say in May, then you would have May 31, 2026 for your last date of report. Now, this is one of the main changes we've made. You're going to open this and you are going to tell us where you bank. If it's Huntington, Citizens, Fifth Third, or Key Bank, and I click on one, it's going to just direct you to your banking information, nothing else. If you choose other, you're going to get a drop-down window. It's going to ask you for your bank name, the last 4 digits of your account, and the last 6 months of bank statements. So when you're doing this, make sure you have those statements loaded onto your computer before you start so that they have easy access for you to download them into the Jot form. At
Janae,
that, yes.
Kelly wants to know what the service unit number is.
Okay. Kelly, what is your troop number?
Her service unit number is 910.
Okay, thank you, Jane, because I don't see her troop. Okay, the service unit is the larger group that your troop belongs to. I don't know if they have a service unit director or anybody, but that's what you need to know. And again, you can call customer care if you don't know it. You can call your coordinator or your specialist who, Jane, I believe you're her specialist, aren't you?
Sure am.
Okay. All right, so let's
And
go.
she does have a son, so we're all
Okay.
good.
I thought she did. We go back, let's go back to a preferred bank so it doesn't take up so much space. You're going to come in here, you're going to put your bank account information, the names of the signers. Now it does say 1, 2, and 3 because you are allowed to have up to 3 signers on a bank account. Some troops, service units do, most of them just have 2. And you may ask, especially those of you who are new, need to add another bank account. Okay, Pam, would you like to explain what that is and everything around that?
Sure. Troops are allowed to have one checking account and one savings account opened with us. So this original information is your main checking account. If you do have a savings account, say you're saving for a trip in the future or something like that, and you do submit the request to open an account, go through the process, opening the account, submitting the information, you would select yes here, and then you would just enter that additional information as well.
You don't have to do a big thing about it. You're just going to put your information in there about the bank account, the last 4 digits and the signers. That way, if we have any questions, especially if it's a non-preferred bank, and again, if it is a non-preferred bank, you will have to put that information and load the last bank statement from the savings account as well. But it's pretty simple. If it's in a preferred bank, we don't need any further information other than the bank and the signers. Preferred banks, Pam can go in and check if we need to. No, we don't go looking at your bank accounts randomly, only if we absolutely need to. A lot of times we do it to help you as well. Sometimes you miss things like fraud and something will happen in that account and Pam will get a notice and then we contact you right away. And that helps you too. We know you have busy lives and other things going on, so you may miss something once in a while. And then we try to help you keep track. So once you get all your banking information in there, you're going to do your income. USA membership. If you've collected money from your families for membership, or if the troop is paying membership fees out of troop funds, if you collect money for that membership, you're going to put it in here. Some troops ask the families to give them the girls' membership money and they pay it all at once. So you would put any money you've collected from families for membership in that space. Troop group dues. Some troops do charge dues monthly to their girls or even annually or biannually. It just depends how the troop has it worked out. You would keep track of the dues and that would go in there. If the troop collects money from families to go buy uniform pieces, you could put that there. What do we mean by uniform pieces? Anything that you're collecting money for to go get uniforms, their vests, their insignias, their pins. Those are probably things that a parent would give you money for if you were going to the shop and buying a uniform for their girl. Then we have the product programs. Fall product, you're going to look in your bank account and you are going to find how much you deposited for fall product. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier. DOC payments, the online sales that go through council, sometimes we owe you money. So look for that if we owed you money, because that will go in income under your fall or cookie profits, whichever the case may be. Usually I find it's more often happening with fall product sales. Again, same thing, cookies. Yes.
Janae, Catherine is asking, are you going through this? While you're going through this, we've done World Thinking Day market for many years, and this year is the only year we made a small profit. Where would we report that income?
Okay, we're going to get to that right in just a minute because there is a place for it. Yes. Okay, so we're going to do our cookies, our fall product. Know when you're depositing that money, as Pam said earlier. Keep track of those deposits so you can put the correct stuff in here. I do want to show you this. Did you have any unsold cookies? Okay, how many packages? You're going to put the total. I don't care if you donated them, unless you purchase those cookies to donate. Then they're bought cookies. Unsold are cookies you got no money for. You've gotten no money for. So then the next question is, did you donate any of the unsold cookies? If you said yes, where did you donate them? How many packages did you donate? So that is information you're going to need. Let me close these up a bit. I did that wrong. I should have done that one first and this one. Okay, money earning activities. A money earning activity is something you put in a request for. We have a money earning application. If you are planning a money earning, first of all, you have to participate in both product sales and have filed a finance report for the year. And then you can file an application for a money earning program. I'm not going to get into too many details on that, but that is what that space is for. Now, Catherine, your question. It would more than likely go under income for program and events. World Thinking Day, your market would be part of your program and events. And if you made any kind of profit, and no, you don't need a money earning application for this because you probably didn't make more than $500 profit, I'm assuming. Um, so you would put that money right there. Any programs or events that you have money left over, you've collected money from families and girls, that all goes under program and events. If you've collected funds to go camping, that goes in camping. If you have other income, let's say a donation. Sometimes parents will donate uh, $25 or something. Just say, here, give this to the troop. Or some organizations in your community may choose to give you donations. Then you could put that under other income. And okay, so you put anything in there that is other income. We'll ask you for what that was for later on. All right, it will automatically total your income. Come on, computer, work for me. All right, let's go on to expenses. Now, these are a little more detailed. We break things down a little bit for recording purposes when we do stats for council. Again, USA membership registration fees. If you have money in your bank account that was used to pay girl or adult memberships, and you did that, that's what you put in membership registration fees. If the parents went online and paid their own girls' fees, that's theirs. That doesn't go in your finance report. If they gave you money and it's in the account, or if you're paying with troop funds for the membership fees, that goes under your expenses. Again, your fall product and cookie program. You are going to look at the proper statement and see where GSNEO debited those funds from your account. And they will usually only make one debit for each sale. So you will know that's what it is, and that is what goes in these two spaces. I don't know how many of you know what the Juliet Low World Friendship Fund is. It usually occurs around Thinking Day. Some service units, when they host Thinking Day, have a Juliet Gordon Low Fund. It usually goes along with what the Thinking Day theme is that year, and they ask people to donate to the fund. Sometimes troops will donate $25, $50 to the Juliet Gordon Low Fund through their service unit. And then you would put that in that space. GSNEO programs and events. This is anything that is in one of our program catalogs. Fall, spring, winter catalogs, excluding camping. This is if you sign up to do low ropes for one day up at camp, or if you sign up for one of our STEM programs. Anything that is in those catalogs that you can sign up for is considered a GSNEO program or event, and your expenses go there. If you are attending or paying for a program or event that is not sponsored by GSNEO, this does include service unit events. If your service unit is hosting a roller skating party, that is considered a non-GSNEO event, and what you pay for that will go here. Or if you take your troops, say, to the McKinley Museum or COSI, or not COSI, the Science Museum up in Cleveland, anything like that that you do on your own, then that is a non-GSNEO program or event. Camping. If you are going camping at one of our properties, then you put all your expenses for camping in there. If you are going camping that is not GSNEO property, say your girls are getting older, you want to go out. We have a lot of people that like to go to Hocking Hills, Sometimes you have local campgrounds that you may want to go to that's not too far from their home. Something like that. Then your camping's expenses would go under non-GSNEO property. Uniform pieces. Anything the troop purchases that goes on that girl's uniform that is official. That includes earned badges. Those are considered part of uniform pieces. You can put those there, along with anything like pins, their membership stars. Usually the troop buys those. Their when they bridge, their bridging stuff, it all goes under uniform pieces. Program materials would be anything you buy for a Girl Scout program. Okay, let's say you're doing one of the badges. Any materials you purchase for that badge would go under program materials. Food and beverage, pretty obvious. Any food or beverage receipts, even if you're using them for camping or something like that. And again, I know Pam talked to you about saving those receipts. Sometimes it's a good idea just to write on the bottom. If it's a handheld receipt, you can write on the bottom what it was for. Or if it's an electronic receipt, sometimes you can put a note in there what that receipt was for too. When you save it to your computer, say it's a Walmart receipt, camping, food, and supplies. Perfect. That's all you need to put. That way, when you send it to us, that's what it'll say, and we'll know where it went. Craft supplies. These are the odds and ends things you do for your everyday stuff with the troop. Paints, paper, anything like that that you use to enhance the girls' activities and to get things accomplished. These are things we usually see from Dollar General and all of the kind of places like that.
Janae,
Jennifer is asking if we are camping and purchase crafts, does that go under camping or crafts?
I would say to put it under crafts, because usually for camping, what we're looking for is what you paid for the actual camping, your site, things like that. You can put your crafts and food under the respective and mark your receipts. That way, Pam gets that receipt and she's not, am I thinking correctly for how you do your, yes.
Yeah.
That way they're separated. So when Pam does if Pam does a review, she can clearly see what was food and what was camping. Now, if you buy anything like supply, let's say you want to buy pie irons for this camping trip, they would definitely go under troop equipment and supplies, not camping. Camping is basically the money you collect and pay out to pay for that campsite. Or anything like if you purchase, you all know tents would go under supplies. So that's what it is for. It is to cover the expenses of renting the campsite. So your food would go under food. Your craft supplies. Troop and equipment supplies would be if you have tents, if you have pie irons, anything you purchase, that's a piece of equipment for your troop. If you have flags, some troops purchase their own flags if they do a lot of parades. That is all equipment and supplies. Okay, a community service project. This is where your girls are giving back to the community. Especially with the littler ones, the daisies and the brownies. Sometimes if they're meeting at a place like a community center or a church room or something like that, a lot of them being younger, and it helps them earn some of their badges, they will in the spring or the fall plant flowers for the church. They'll buy the stuff, plant it for the church as a give back, a thank you for being allowed to have their meetings there. That is a community service project. If you're unsure about a service project, please call and ask. We'll be happy to help you with that. If you do receive any bank charges, they go in there. I know some people have trouble with electronics and may prefer paper statements, but please just remember, we cannot reverse those charges. Or if you're in a non-preferred bank and get bank charges, put those in there. If you are in a preferred bank and we see that you're getting bank charges, we may call you and ask you what they're for so that we can help you get rid of those charges. If you have any other expenses that you put out, you're not sure where to put them, you can put them in there. Okay, moving
Janae,
down.
there is a question.
Oh, yeah.
If a mom gives me $305 for uniforms and then I spend the $305 on those uniform bits, is it okay for those two spots to match?
Yes. If she gave you that, you deposited it as an income for uniforms. And then when you go buy that uniform, you save that receipt, you add all the uniform stuff for the whole year you've purchased, and it will match at the end. Whatever you put in this account, you have to and take out, it will automatically add it in. Now, if she gave it to you cash and you're spending it as cash, then I am going to highly advise make sure you have a receipt book and make sure you a duplicate receipt book. Make sure you record it, give her a receipt, and you keep a receipt. And the receipt you get when you purchase the item.
It is very important, Janae, to point out if you are given cash and you are spending cash, then no money was actually deposited or
Right.
withdrawn from the bank account.
You
So
don't put it
that
in.
would not be recorded on the finance report. You're only recording every item that is showing on the bank statements. Nothing
Yes.
more.
Yes. Any cash transactions, we hopefully you are giving receipts and keeping receipts so that you have a paper trail. We find out if they're giving you cash, it's always best to put it in the troop bank account because that gives a very clear paper trail. And then you don't have to worry about anything happening to that cash. Okay. Now, again, as I said, your starting balance will be where you ended last year. Again, because of the change in what we're using, if you can't find it, if you're not sure how to find that ending balance from last year, please call customer care. They already know this is coming and they will be more than happy to get that balance for you. It will automatically add your income, your expenses, and it will do the math for you. And then you should get a new ending balance, and this balance should match your last bank statement. If you ended with May 31st, this balance should be the same as your May 31st bank statement. If you're having trouble getting that to match, by all means, please give us a call. We're here to help you. Then we do have some questions. We just want to know what you're planning on doing with the rest of your funds because some people we find do have a lot of funds in there. You can put things like in startup money for next year. We have activities we want to do next year we're saving for. We're planning a trip to Savannah in 3 years. That's all acceptable. Anything else you'd like to tell us? You can put in there. One of our parents' companies donated $500 to our troop. That's where you would put that. Please remember if you receive donations to let us know so we can make sure that we send information to that organization so they can record it for their IRS reports as well. Then we do ask you for some troop information. The number of registered girls for the entire year. If a girl was registered this year, but left, say, in January, she was still a member this year. So make sure you include them. The same with your registered adults. The status for next year, very simply, is your troop coming back? Are you planning on, maybe you're an older troop, maybe you're diminishing and you've got another group of girls in a troop there and you decide to merge together for convenience. Mark that. If you're planning on not coming back next year, then mark disbanding. Someone will be in touch with you to help you with that process. If you're still not sure, mark that because someone, again, will be in touch with you to find out what your plans are, why you're on the fence about returning, and we will help you make that decision as well. And then we do ask you to list what equipment you have. And we've listed some examples. And this is if we do have troops that disband, we know that there is equipment there. And once a troop disbands, they must turn all that equipment over either to another troop, to their service unit, or back to GSNEO, where we will distribute it to new troops starting out or something of that nature. We always give everything that's returned to us back to the troops. And then hopefully, if everything went well, you should be able to submit this. And you're good to go. Let's see. What if we had girls leave? Do we count them in our group total? Pam, do you want them counted? You use that information more than I do, as I believe Emily does too.
Yeah, I always go with the total number of girls that are registered at the end of the year. So when I
Okay.
do a financial review, I'm looking at total number of girls on September 30th. So all girls who should be included, all adults should be included, even if they transfer to a different troop, it's going to reflect that that girl was at the beginning of the Girl Scout year a member, and then it diminished for the following year.
Yeah. So yeah, just count all the girls that you had this year, and that'll be fine, even if they've left. And you can even tell us in this area where it says additional information. Let's say you had 15 girls at the beginning of the year, and that's what you put in there. You can just type in there, 3 girls left the troop in December. And then that's fine. We do try to make it as simple as possible, but we do also try to keep track of where people are, what they're doing. And it does make a difference in how expenses were spent too by the number of girls in the troop. Okay, I am going to go back to the PowerPoint. Stop sharing. Da, 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 da. To my PowerPoint. Sorry for the delay. I'm not the best at doing this.
While Janae's doing the upload, is there any more questions that we can answer real quick?
All right. Am I back up, Pam?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Well, go on to the next slide. Hopefully. All right, computer, quit doing that. Now I got something that says I don't want. Turn that off. It is. All right. We'll just do it that way. Okay, you will receive notice. Take it. Yeah. I had trouble. I couldn't get the slide to change, Pam. Finance report, you will receive a thank you email, and the email will also have a copy of your finance report in it as you see it. Once you've submitted it, this should turn up in your email. If you don't get the email, please check your junk files. And then if you still don't have it, contact customer care. We will make sure you get one. We want you to have it. Save the email for your records. Share it with your troop membership and your caregivers. Troop membership does include your girls. You don't have to give a Daisy a copy of the finance report, obviously, but you can let them know that, you have money. This is what we can do with the money. It gives the Daisies an opportunity to start learning finances and to become involved in what they do.
And it's very important. You can actually use this finance report as part of pedals and badges as the girls are growing as well. So them knowing how their money is being collected, what their money is being spent on, and the planning process as well is all involved in pedals and badges.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you are experiencing any issues or problem accessing your finance report jot form, please contact customer care. This is their phone number, this is their email. They do have a live chat during office hours. And also, if it's after office hours, you can send a message and it will be addressed the first thing in the morning, depending how busy they are. Some days, especially during finance report season, they get pretty backed up, but I also check that and we do try to do something with it. Sadie has one. To build a little free library, should we make a money earning event so it doesn't take away from what they earned already? If you have a plan for a money earning event, you can submit that to help pay for the little library. But make sure you fill out the money earning event application so we can approve it. And please check our finance policies and to see what is an acceptable money earning project.
This may actually be more of a community service project than a money earning, because
Yes.
I don't see you actually profiting money on this.
Well, no, they wouldn't be, but I don't know. I don't know what age your girls are, Sadie. If you're doing it for like one of the like bronze, silver, or gold, then yeah, they do need to file of money earning. But if you're just doing it as a troop service project, well, they don't want to spend troop money, so they want to earn the, yeah, they still need to do a money earning project if they're going to earn the money specifically for that project. Yeah.
Okay, because I have daisies all the way to juniors, and I was just wondering.
Okay. One thing to remember, uh, you can do a money earning project, but only the brownies and the juniors could participate in the actual money earning part of it. The daisies can attend the event, but they can't, daisies are not allowed to do money earning. And with a multi-level troop, we make that very clear. However, they can help with the actual community service project. Does that make sense, Sadie?
Yeah, because we did have a money earning event last year, and we didn't have the daisies included at all. So
Okay, that's
we got
perfect.
that.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Because
guys.
some people have trouble understanding what happens with a multi-level troop.
Thank you, guys.
Uh-huh. Okay, we got some frequently asked questions here. Pam, I'm going to let you start with those, the first page.
Okay, we missed the deadline. How do I submit the report? Troops are required to submit finance reports by June 10th this year. It's September 30th for troops are required to submit finance reports. June 10th to September 30th, troops can continue to use the jot form to submit the report, but the incentives will not be offered after June 10th. So it's very important in order to receive those additional incentives to have it completed by June 10th. If for some reason you are working on it and you have a question, you come across difficulty, whatever, contact either customer care, Janae, or myself, and we will try to work with you as best as possible to get your finance report submitted by that deadline. Number 2, I'm not on the bank account. Can I still submit the finance report? Yes, you will need to collaborate with the 2 signers on the bank account. Make sure you have all the information and statements needed to successfully complete the finance report.
Okay, what if our troop has unsold cookies? I think we've kind of covered that. If you have any questions, further questions about that, please let us know. I know this is usually where we get the most questions. Just remember that that finance report is recording what went in the account, what came out of the account. So everything you need is on the finance bank statements. If you have questions on that, please let us know. For cookie and MSP sale, income and expenses, do we put the total cost earned or the total cost the troop earned? You put, again, what you deposited. Don't even look at eBuddy or the whatever they call that, MSP. Don't look in there. You don't need those reports to do your finance report, just your bank statements. Okay. You do not factor in digital cookie and digital MSP sales. The finance report only includes money in and money out. They've already been factored into your debt for Girl Scouts. The only time that digital cookies or MSP would be in effect is if we owed you money. Then you would see a deposit from us for that. Usually that's only going to happen with fall product because it's very rare that troops only do digital cookies.
But it does happen from
It
time
does.
to time.
Older troops especially may decide to do it that, or even Daisy troops sometimes because they don't want the girls doing the door to door. So it does happen. So what do you do with your receipts? Well, like I said, and this is my way, you have to keep them. That there you can keep them in a file on a computer. Make sure they're backed up, however, because you never know with a computer. Um, and you need to keep them for 7 years by IRS regulations, even if you've disbanded or the troop has graduated out. Troop bank account signers, you can retain hard copies or store file them digitally. If you are keeping paper copies, make sure you have them stored in 2 places, make a copy, whatever. A lot of the new paper receipts have a tendency to fade during storage. I always just put them all by event on and make a copy and store the copy. Put them in an envelope by year, date or what year it is, membership year 2025 or membership year 2026. That way you have them if anyone asks you for them.
Storing files electronically is also beneficial if you would typically keep paper receipts in a basement and the basement floods. It would ruin
Yes.
everything. So having an electronic copy is highly recommended.
Yes. And believe me, that has happened. I don't think there's anything they can think of that hasn't happened you would know about. All right. If you find you need a little more help, or maybe you'd like to work with us one-on-one to get your finance report done, we are very happy to accommodate you. We have live help available Monday through Saturday throughout the month of May and through the end of the finance report dates in June. Pam or I will contact you, send you a 30-minute Zoom meeting invite where we will go on there with you and help you through, answer any questions, help you do the finance report, anything that you need to get your finance report done. There is a Sign Up Genius link. We're going to put that in the chat for you. You go in there, you take a look at what our offerings are, and you can sign up. Like I said, they're 30-minute sessions. They're almost all day, Monday through Friday. I have 2 Saturdays, one in May, one in June, that I will be doing them on Saturday mornings. You sign up what works best for you, and there's the link. So if you do need help, we are here to help you get through that. Now I'll grab that link here in 1 minute. So I don't know if Jane has that or not to put in there. Let me grab copy and put that right there and send. So we're open for questions. Does anyone have any specific questions we haven't answered? Always remember, if you think of something later, don't be afraid to reach out to anybody. If you can't find, here's our emails. If you can't remember them, don't have them, by all means, just call customer care. Tell them you need to speak to either Janae or Pam. We both work pretty much. I'm here 8:30 to 5. Pam is here, I think, 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. I know if we need to, we can make special arrangements for times. We'll set you up with one of our 30-minute sessions. Anything it takes to help you get that finance report done. If you just have questions, shoot us an email. We'll be happy to answer that. We'll get in touch with you. So if no one has any more questions, I'd like to thank you all for being here. This was a recorded meeting. It will be placed in GS Learn under the Money Matters module because we replace it every year. It will also be in our YouTube page, and the link for that will be under in Rallyhood. So look for that probably next week, one day. I will send it to the people who handle that, and they'll get it in there next week for you. If you know anybody that planned to come and couldn't be here, by all means, send them the link as well once you find it, and we will be happy to help them as well. So wish you a happy Saturday, and I hope you're wherever you're at. Thank you.
Great job, ladies.
Thank you, Jane. How many did we end up with?
19.
And we had how many registered?
60.
Janae,
Okay,
did you stop the recording?
Okay. No, I didn't.